we'll gather around, feel the love come down. Blue elephant is strong, together we belong. In every comment,
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, TheBlueElephantGifts, it is a company that they sell on Amazon and they sell some dried pressed flowers. Has kindly sent me some of their flowers to show you guys and use them in a project. So that's what we're going to do today. They are absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous flowers. So I'm very, very excited about it. And we are going to put them into these. These are the new Let's Resin Skulls 4-pack. They come with 4 different sizes. Now, I did an official unboxing on them a few weeks back, and we are going to play around with these today and the flowers, and we're going to see if we can make some pretty skulls, which I've never done before. So this is going to be pretty cool, I think. So my plan is I've got 4 skulls, 4 different sizes. We're going to use all 4 colors of flowers, and I don't want to just make it like a clear piece with flowers. I kind of want to have a background color for the flowers to kind of pop off on. So what I did was I mixed up some of my Let's Resin's epoxy resin. I'm adding just the teeniest, tiniest bit of Rolio Pearl White, which is kind of like a super sparkle. And then I'm going to put it into my Let's Resin bubble remover. Now, this is where stuff started to change. Because at this point, well, up until right here, my plan was to go in first with the flowers, do that part, and then add the color onto it. But I felt like I wanted to have more control, maybe, hopefully, on where the flowers go. So I decided that we're going to do it opposite. We're going to do the color bit first, and then add our flowers into the next pour, right? So for the background color, I am using Let's Resin's chrome powders, and I'm just mixing it in just a little bit into the resin. These colors, not only are they gorgeous dusted on your mold, but they are stunning mixed in the resin as well. I realize that's not what they're really for, and you get a very, very small, amount of them when you get it, but the results are just absolutely gorgeous. If you have them and you haven't tried this technique yet, you really need to. Obviously in, small portions, because again, you don't get a whole lot of color, but the colors are just, they're so beautiful. Like absolutely gorgeous. I wish that Let's Resin would actually come out with big pots of these colors, because that would just be fantabulous. Like, oh my God. Okay, so back to what I'm doing. So I've got my molds propped up because obviously, like, I don't want a straight line. I need to have room for my flowers. So I'm gonna cure these guys on an angle. Now, hindsight is a wonderful thing, and I think that if I were to do this again, I would do this slightly different. And we'll get into the why here in a little bit. But let's just go back to what I'm doing. So the color part is going to be like the back of the head and kind of sort of into the top because of the way that I did the angle of it. Now, this is the next day. I've mixed up some more of my Let's Resin epoxy using my dual mixer from Resiners. I am adding that little bit of Rolio in there again. I will put it through maybe I already put it through the bubble remover. I guess I already put it through the bubble remover and just forgot. But I did do that because I want absolutely 100% crystal clear resin for this part. Like, I don't want any chance of any bubbles whatsoever, right? Okay, so now I'm just adding some of the clear resin to it. I'm not trying to fill up this mold yet. The main reason why I don't want to fill it up is flowers float. If you've not worked with flowers before, they do tend to float in resin. So this is where I should have thought just a little bit more and planned it out maybe a little bit better, because doing it this way, like upside down, and I've got the background color at an angle, which is already making it weird on how I'm placing the flowers in. Like, there's no way they're going to stand up straight because of the angle that I have that background color. And does that make sense? So I think if I would have used less resin maybe as the color initially, or I'm not sure. I'm not like, I haven't completely worked it out in my brain exactly how I should have gone about doing it, but less, maybe even tilted the mold more than what I did, so that it goes to the bottom of the head, like the back of the head more than up on top, because the top is what I really needed clear, so that these flowers will actually show their beauty, right? Or maybe just do the entire top bit of the skull completely clear and add the color to the bottom. This way the flowers can show through better than what they are. Like, this is all me trying to work it out as I'm talking to you on how the best way to do it. Maybe it just sounds like a jumbled mess of you don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe for someone it'll help you out if you hear me talk it through, Anyway, I'm putting the flowers in. I'm kind of dipping them in, taking them out, and then dipping them in again and trying to straighten them up. But I don't know if you can see in the big one, I have those flowers in the very back, and I've kind of pushed them up against that essentially wall of resin that I made. They're leaning. And the reason that they're leaning is because they're at an angle, because they can't go straight because of the resin wall that's behind them, which is where my issues are going to kind of lie as far as some of the clarity, I think, of the flowers when we demold later on. But that being said, like, don't stop watching because you think I'm saying they turn out bad. They absolutely don't. They turn out beautiful. But I am just trying to, like, better think of how to get the flowers to show more. And honestly, I think with skulls, like where you look at it from the front, and I get that's the way you're supposed to look at it because of the facial features on it, it's whatever you put inside is distorted, right? So you're not getting a clear view of whatever it is. So if it's something that you really, really want a clear view on, then you should be able to see it clearly from the back of the head as well. And then if that's the case, which it kind of sort of is on this one, then either maybe put the color in the front of the face and then have like the back be clear and you can see the flowers like more fully, better, less distorted, which could still be cool, right? You can still have a cool, how, depending on how you decide to do the face with the color or whatever, have the facial features be done with that, which may actually make that part of it pop out more, and then do the flowers in the back. Does that make sense? I hope so. Anyway, okay, let's get back to the video and not about me rambling. So I started the first two. I didn't have enough resin that day that I made it up to do any more. So this is the next day. I made up a little bit more resin, or it's the same day that I'm doing the second pour, right? So I made up a little bit extra resin. I didn't need so much. So I was able to have enough to do the background on this one. So that's what we're doing. Same thing with the chrome powders is what I'm using. Now for the little guy, I decided at the last minute that I'm gonna fill him so you guys can see what he looks like when he's demolded. But honestly, I'm not gonna do the flower bit with him. I honestly think that by the time I put in the resin, like if I was to do it the same way I'm doing these, by the time I put the resin in, there's not gonna be any room for a flower to be in. Not really, not the size flowers that I have here. So we're just gonna do that up with some whatever I happen to have left over and go from there. Okay, so this is day 3 now. I've done my first 2 pours, and I'm just cutting off any stems or any bits of flower that is still standing up from the resin that's cured. Just cutting it down to where the resin is cured at. And I've mixed up some more. Now it is time to add our flowers to the third guy. So we're going to do that real quick. And then what we're going to do is we are going to add our last layer to the other guys. Now, my first thought was, okay, maybe I make it clear. Then no, I didn't want to do that. I didn't necessarily want like a solid color either, because I thought with the chrome in the background that it would kind of look stupid. So I chose not to do that. So what I decided to do was I picked 3 glitters that would complement the colors that I picked for the background nicely. And I've got 2 of them are from Lrisy, the yellow, and then the purple, it's a chameleon shift one. And then we have the third one, which is from DIY Craft Warehouse. And it's just a really pretty, it's not chameleon, but it's definitely got some iridescence to it, which, and it's multicolored, so it's gorgeous as well. But let's get back to putting the flowers in. Not going to overload it, but I do want enough that you're going to see them. And we're just going to add a couple in here, set this off to the side, let it do its thing so we can come back and finish it off and get these other 2 filled up. Now, with the 2 bigger ones, what I'm going to do is, like I said, I want to add glitter to it, but I don't necessarily want to pack it full of glitter. I want to add some to be able to see it, but I am okay with it being like clear spaces and not like wall-to-wall packed glitter. That's not really necessarily the look that I'm going for. I don't want the focus to be the glitter. I want it to be more the flowers. So I don't want to overdo it so that that's all you see. So what I did was I got a little bit of alcohol ink in the main color of the glitter, put a drop or 2 in, mix that up, adding a little bit of glitter. And then just because all of these are pretty much chunky glitters, well, except for the yellow, that's kind of like those little, they're like little stringy things. They look like short little tiny, like, I don't know, like strings, but they're not, they're short. I don't know. I don't know. That's what they are, though. They're not like your typical hexagon glitter. Anyway, added just 1 drop, because I don't want to overdo it, of the clear Elmer's glue to the mixture just to make sure that the glitter doesn't sink. Quick spritz with alcohol. That's done. We're going to wait and demold it and see what we've got. Same thing with the yellow. Couple drops of yellow alcohol ink to it just to color so it's not clear. So we do have some color in there where like the glitter isn't. So right now, as I kind of mix this up, for those of you that are new and you're working with alcohol ink, you want to make sure that you mix it up thoroughly. If you see streaks of it in there, it's not thoroughly mixed. It's not like you're marbling. Don't do that, because it can leave like weird stickiness on the outside if the alcohol ink like happens to be up against the mold or whatever. So you do want to make sure that it's thoroughly mixed. Also, just a tidbit of information. When you are doing multiple pours, what I always do is, you know how sometimes, like for this example, you can see I'm kind of digging around in there with my, oh my God, my scribe. That's what it's called. Uh, like around the edges sometimes where you can get bubbles in between layers. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like you demold and you're like, where the join is, there's like bubbles across. If you pay attention, and obviously it's going to depend on the mold, right? But if you can see inside the mold and you can see that there's a bubble near the surface around the outside of the mold, you can very carefully, so you don't scratch your mold, but you can get something in there and kind of poke that hole open so that when you pour your next layer of resin in, it'll fill that hole and you won't have to worry about it when you demold and then having that rough edge and just the bubbles and the, all of the ugliness that it shows. So just take it a couple extra seconds, pay attention to what your bottom layer, your cured layer looks like, fix it, and then you can move on. And then just make sure you take you know, a silicone tool, a dotting tool, a scribe, something like that, and poke the resin into that hole to get that air bubble out so that it fills, right? All right, I had a little bit of the glitter left over from the purple one. So I filled that with in the tiny little guy, and we are going to see how it turns out. Now, this glitter is absolutely gorgeous. It's probably one of my favorite glitters that I have from Lrisy. The colors, the sparkle, the shine, like camera really doesn't do it justice at all. It is such a beautiful, beautiful glitter. All right, so let's talk about these molds for a second, because aside from the size difference, right? I know Let's Resin has the large mold already, and then they have the smaller ones. I will say that I feel like these molds are sturdier. I feel like they are easier to demold, easier to work with in general. I like them so much more. Now, that first piece, again, we'll go over it with this one because it's kind of the same as what you're going to see, what you saw in the first one, where the flowers, because of the way that I cured that first layer, the flowers are kind of like smushed in there almost, and you really can't see the full beauty of them, especially in the smaller ones. Now, this one, you can see it a little bit more, but see, you can see how they're all leaning forward. Do you see that? That's not how I wanted it. That's my fault for how I poured that first layer. I think if I did it more towards the back, it would have worked better as far as standing straight up. However, I will stop and say that honestly, I feel like that maybe I should have poured the color in the front, like in the face of the mold, and then let the flowers shine through from the back. At least maybe up to the eyes. I don't know. I don't know. It's something that I need to play around with more. I've only ever included something into my skulls, like to where you actually are supposed to be able to see it. I want to say this is like the second time. And I'm not talking about like marbles or anything like that where it doesn't really matter. The first time was not, I don't think it was this past Halloween. I think it was the Halloween before. I tried to stick a little gravestone in there, and you couldn't see that either, really, because I'm thinking that you need to see it from the front, when really in this mold and the way it's designed, that if you want something to see, I really think you need to look at it from the back, not the front. Does that make sense? Just so that you don't have the distortion of the facial features in there distorting what it is that you're supposed to be looking at. Okay, so I want to do something different with these that I've never done before. And like I said, I want to go pretty this time with skulls instead of the dark and gothy type horror related looks that I typically do. So we're going pretty. So what I decided to do was I've got some glitter washi tape, and then those nail foils that I was using, I think it was last video. Yes, last video on the ghost. We're going to play around with those today. We're going to play around with some rhinestones and some flat back pearls, and we are just going to jazz these guys up and give them something extra to look at, something pretty, something unique, and go from there. So at this point, while I go through this, I'm going to bounce off, and I will be back when we are ready for the next step.
You light the path when the way feels dim. 1,000 voices, a mighty hymn. Each click, each word, it's more than you know. You're the spark that makes me glow. When the days get rough, when I feel the strain, you remind me why I'm in this game. You lift me up higher than the sky. With every dream, you help me fly. You're the reason, the heart, the flame. Without your love, it's not the same. You show me strength in your quiet cheer. Every comment's gold, it's crystal clear. Through the highs and lows, you're my steady stream. You make me brave, you make me dream. When I stumble, fall, and lose my way, your belief pulls me back to stay. You lift me up higher than the sky. With every dream, you help me fly. You're the reason, the heart, the flame. Without your love, it's not the You lift me up higher than the sky. With every dream, you help me fly. You're the reason, the heart, the flame. Without your love, it's not the same. In the garden where the skulls all bloom, each one wears a crown, each a different hue. Ruby red and sapphire blue, they glow, they glow. Petals dance where shadows rest, every color stitched in jest. A family of flowers, glitter and bone, all so different yet not alone. One wears gold with a quiet grace, another's painted with a fiery face. Pearls and silver trace their place. They glow, they glow. Each one tells a story deep, secrets they were born to keep. A family of flowers, glitter and bone, all so different yet not alone. They shine in their own way, a beautiful skull bouquet.
Alright, so these guys are just about done. What do you think? I kind of like them. I think they turned out really cool. Something completely different from what I typically do. So I'm happy about it. Let's finish off this guy. Just cutting off the excess greenery and all of that. I've already got my resin mixed up. Now, for this, because this was literally all the resin I needed to make, I just used a little bit of Let's Resin's Fast Cure resin for it. I'm not worried about bubbles. I didn't put it through the bubble remover or any of that. I just hand mixed it. Like, it's cool. Let's Resin, I never really have any issues with bubbles in their resin, so I'm not worried about it whatsoever. It'll degas just fine on its own. A little bit of pink alcohol ink, a little bit of that, I think it's like Mystic Mauve. Everything will be in the description box below for you guys. Glitter from DIY Craft Warehouse. Quick spritz of alcohol. And then we're going to fill this up, let it cure, and then we are going to demold this and do the finishing touches to this one as well and see how it comes out. Now, we're pretty much going to do the same type of deal with this one when we demold it as we did with the last two. So once we demold, I'll bounce off again, finish this up, and then come back at the end and we'll just wrap things up. But I am curious to know, when you guys make skulls, those of you who make skulls, do you make them pretty? Do you make them horror? How do you make your skulls? What do you put in them? How do you do them? I'd really like to know. If you want to drop a comment in the comment section, that would be great. You know, we all inspire, each one inspires somebody else. And, you know, me and skulls, like, I don't do a whole lot with them, but I do think that they're pretty cool, and I'd like to be able to have more ideas on what to do with them. Does that make sense? So, yeah, if you want to drop a comment, that'd be awesome. I'd love to read them. And let me know which one you guys like more. I'm curious, which one is your favorite? All right, at this point, I'm going to bounce off. I will be back when we are ready to wrap things up.
Dreams are waiting and they're calling you. shadows try to pull you low. Turn them into sparks, let your colors show. You've got a light the dark can't steal. Chase the dream that feels so
am back as I just kind of finished up the last finishing touches to him. Now, I do want to make a comment real quick about the washi tape and the nail foil that I'm using. I highly recommend, you can see on some areas that I kind of went over a little bit with my liquid fusion as I was doing the rhinestones, and I did a lot around the edges. That's honestly to help hold it in. These things do not stick well whatsoever. And the little strip that I put on the teeth, now I did put the glue on each end of them because I thought that that would be enough just to hold it in there. Now, I did notice as I was editing the glamour shots on one of them where it popped away from the teeth. So I recommend, if you're going to use this, to take some kind of clear drying glue and tack it all down this way, especially if you're selling it or you're gifting it to somebody. You don't have to worry about it coming apart in pieces. I'm going to have to go back and do that to mine just to make sure that I don't have any issues with it once I put it on eBay. And you know, because the last thing I want is for it to start coming apart in pieces. And just use the tiniest bit. You don't need a lot. You just need a very small amount just to kind of hold it into place. Anyway, that is a wrap on this one, guys. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I will see you on Saturday in the next one. Love ya. Bye.
We'll gather around, feel the love come down. Blue elephant is strong, together we belong. In every comment bright, you lift me to new heights. Your support, it's clear, gives me reason to cheer. Blue elephant crew, this one's up for you. You make dreams come true with everything you do. Each subscriber's heart playing a vital part. Videos we share, showing how much we care. Likes and shares, they grow. You make the channel glow. Every single view, I owe it all to you. Blue Elephant Crew, this one's up for you. You make dreams come true with everything you do. other's heart, playing a vital part. Videos we share, showing how much we care.